Now, there's a situation where I feel like that was the old guard who was still trying to shove a round peg into a square hole, right?
Yeah.
And what happened this past season in Philly, I think, it kind of speaks to what you're saying, where they were still trying to go with that old school mentality. And you dealt with them not once, but twice.
Yeah. And this is a crazy story. So I had him in New York when I was coming up. Tom Rennie was there for my first 2 years when I was in the minors. I really liked Tom, a lot of respect for him. And then Torts comes in. It's not that we didn't get along, but I remember going in, this might have been my third pro season. I had a really good year, my second year pro. I think I had almost 30 goals. I was probably the top scoring guy, 25 and under in the American Hockey League. I got 130 PIMs. Like I was ready for the NHL at that point. I let him know that too when he was cutting me. I was like, man, I should be on your team. And he loved it too. Like I could tell he was excited. I was like, I'm better than this guy, better than this guy, better than this guy. And he's like, well, you didn't fight. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I didn't fight, but I probably had a point a game in 5 exhibition games. I had 3 goals. Like, I had 30 goals last year as a 21-year-old in the American Hockey League and 140 PIMs. Like, I can fight. I fight. There's no, like, I was trying to show you I can play. I'm trying to make the team. And he's like, well, you didn't fight. It's like, okay. And
there's that old school mentality, right?
And that was 2009, 2010, whatever it was. Let's fast forward to Vancouver. And I said it to the media before he got hired because I thought, absolutely, there's no way he's coming on this team. So Vigneault gets fired, and I'm getting calls from the media like, well, there's John Tortorella's, rumored to be getting the job in Vancouver. And I literally said it. Stupid. I was young, 22, 23 years old. I said, no way. I said, he's not a fit for this team. Like I said, the guys I just mentioned on Vancouver, older team, kind of like controlled the locker room, that they just wouldn't fly with a guy like that. Like I knew it.
Yeah, you were kind of right.
I wish the GM would have asked me. Like I would have saved his job. Like, Mike Gillis should have came up and said, you had him. Give me some feedback on him. But no, brought him in. Absolute disaster. He was playing the Sedins and Kessler like 27 minutes a night. Sedins are on the penalty kill, blocking shots. Like it was just a disaster from day one. And I called it. Didn't work then. Buried the team. I don't think he made it out of a year in Vancouver. And it just keeps getting recycled. And whoever he went to Columbus, whatever, they had a little bit of success. And then, they got to bring him into Philly. They got to get someone harder. It was like, I was so blown away they brought him into Philly. I played with Daniel Briere in Montreal. And Michel Therrien was like, a very hard-nosed, demanding. And Briere hated him as a player. And now as management, you're bringing in a coach like that to your players. It didn't make sense to me. I was kind of shocked that he did it. But again, I'm not shocked that he's out the door. And it's like, I think John Tortorella's, I really enjoy him as a guy, like away from the rink. I think he's a great person. I'd love to have beers and like, I totally respect him, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And there's no, like, he can't be somewhere longer than a year or two. It just runs thin.
Well, I find it fascinating how, and I'm just starting to make the connection now, how you talk about how today's NHL is very individual. It's less of a team mentality. And it's almost that perspective from what I've noticed, where a coach now doesn't go in and blanket coach. He's coaching each individual guy because they all have different personalities and they all get motivated in different ways.
Yeah.
And it almost seems to be like the way I'm coaching you in the locker room is the same way you're playing out on the ice.
And you can't, like, you talk about blanket coaching. That's literally how every coach did it up until about 4 or 5 years ago, give or take like a John Cooper or something. Like that was it. It was like, I'm going to coach this way and that's it. Like, I had Claude Julien when I went back for my second stint in Montreal, and it was like, talk about a guy blanket coaching. Like there was no different strategy. It was like, this is the way I coach. This is it. The guy wouldn't even call lines when we were in Montreal. Like be sitting on the bench wondering who's going. And like we had too many men penalties every second game. And it was like, I think I said it on Spit and Chicklets and like everyone was kind of laughing about it, but I was like, it's true. He literally would not call the lines. And it's like, you look at the guys that are having success. I look at a guy like John Cooper and I would have loved to play with this guy, play for him, sorry. And you just hear the players talk about him. It's not a lie. Like you can see when you're listening to players talk, you're like, yeah, he really doesn't like his coach. He's just, putting on a front in front of everybody. When you see guys talk about John Cooper, it's like, you can't fake that. You see the like behind the scenes stuff when at the Four Nations, like it was just so good. So like, especially now, I don't want to say kids are getting softer now or the younger guys that are coming in.
They're different.
It's different. You got to approach it different. You got to take in, nowadays, 20-year-old comes in, he doesn't like you as a coach. He's like, they're getting rid of the coach before they're getting rid of him. Like he's picking where they're playing. It's just such a different reality now where guys call the shot a lot more. So it's interesting. Interesting to see where it goes.
Do you feel like, and we've had this trend on the show a few times, but how the NHL seems to be afraid of letting their players have a personality. Like, they want eyes on the game and they want to showcase all of this talent and these people, but at the same time they're like, but be this person when you're being an ambassador.
Yeah, you couldn't be more right. I always thought it was interesting.
We do a hockey podcast called Sling the Biscuit every single Sunday. The clips, the bite-sized chunks are right here. Only the hits, the full-length show, which you don't want to miss, is right here. That's Dave. I'm Travis. We'll see you soon.